welcome to my channel. Well, this is just a bit of a rant. I've got this in the background here because I'm about ready to do a video on this. But I was watching, I'm influenced a lot of times by videos that I watch. And I watch various different knife channels and stuff from time to time. One of them I've always watched is, from the beginning, is Patty's Potato Peelers. And he was into budget knives at the time. When a lot of people were doing more expensive flippers, he was talking about how great gonzo knives were. And, based upon what he was talking, the way he enjoyed them and everything, I thought, I should try one of those. And it went from, the more expensive knives costing quite a bit to most gonzos were around $25. I mean, that was well within my budget. Now, you can use gonzos and rough riders like a stepping stone. It gets you into the situation, whatever you're trying to get into, and you can progress from that. Or a lot of people just say, that's as far as I want to go. They control it and they say, all right, I don't want to get, a bunch of expensive knives. I'm just going over after a certain type or, a certain pattern or whatever. And this comes down to also what is your channel about? What are you for? I mean, like mine, I put up Williams Knife Life because it's part of my life. Knives, they're all over the place. I've always, had knives, not as many as I have now, but I've always had knives. And I put my channel up to share my enjoyment of knives initially, and I started branching out into other things that I like too, like military camping gear and stuff like that, or just camping gear, and then flashlights and stuff like that. Now, as far as like what's your motivation? Like some people, they're in it to make money off of it, and that's fine. However you make your living or however you make your money, that's up to you. Mine has never been about making a bunch of money. I wanted to get to the point of 1,000 subscribers, which I did, because YouTube is making money off my channel and not giving me anything out of it. That's the only reason why I started monetizing my stuff, is because if you don't, even channels that don't have 1,000 subscribers, they'll run ads on it. They're making money off of your content and not paying you. And they set up the arbitrary limit of 1K. And so, to me, once you make 1,000 subscribers, to me, the more subscribers you get, the higher ad revenue you get, and blah, all that's great. But that's not my goal. And so when I put up videos, YouTube would show you the exact number of likes and dislikes. Now it just gives you kind of a percentage, like 95% of the people like this video, but you got at least one thumbs down. And I don't know why they're doing that, but that's the way they're doing it now. And all that tells me, if people look at that and say, well, I'm going to give them a thumbs down because I don't like them doing flashlights, or I don't like them doing this, or I don't like them doing comedy. It's not. If you think that's going to influence me as far as like modifying how I do my content, it's useful information. I mean, I can just look at the number of views I get on a true, knife type of video compared to anything else that I branch off of. And it's always lower than that. And that's understandable because a lot of times people are looking for knife content on a channel that says, it's got knife in its name. And I'm just explaining, to anybody that's confused about that or whatever, that you're always, once you reach a certain amount of viewers, you're going to have certain amount of haters. So it might just be that those, the thumb down that happened on that might just be the one video that your loyal hater gave a thumbs down to. To me, it doesn't bother me at all because it's actually feedback. You're actually giving feedback to the channel, and YouTube considers that interaction. And so to YouTube, a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a negative or a positive comment is all treated as the same. Hey, your channel's getting interaction. Now, to me, if I don't like somebody and I don't like their content, I don't watch it. I don't come in and I don't give them thumbs down, and I don't give them any of that stuff. So, that to me is the best way to handle something like that. If something bothers you, don't watch it. It's kind of like, well, I'm against gay marriage. Well, then don't marry somebody that's gay, I mean, just, to me, it doesn't matter what other people prefer or like or do, beyond knives and stuff. Your personal life, your political, affiliations, all that's your religion, all that stuff is up to you, It's not up to me. You don't have to share it with me, I won't share it with you. You don't have to share it with me. The only time I ever get into politics is like a situation that's happening right now. I just want to bring up, since I'm ranting and everything, is here in the United States, our government our elected officials are not doing their job, which is financing what the hell they're supposed to be doing. And the only reason why I say this is because come June 1st, I may not get my Social Security check. I mean, it's unlikely, but it's possible. And if that happens, the giveaway that I'm going to be doing pretty soon may be delayed a little bit until I can get paid. So, that's the only thing I talk about politics and stuff, is I don't like politicians. I don't like them screwing around with people. It's not, if America's economy falls down, it's not just America. It's going to affect the entire globe and everything. And it's just politicians grandstanding, there's a way our government works is, if you don't like something appropriate or whatever, that's your time. That's your time to argue about that. This particular bill is just paying for past debts that both sides passed and agreed. And now when it comes time to pay the bill, all of a sudden they're like, oh, we spent too much. Well, you should have thought about that before. And now you want to raise the limit. Well, they've done that before countless times, So I don't know what's going to happen, but it just pisses me off that they're screwing around with people's lives and economy and everything else over BS. Should we have a balanced budget? Yes. I think so. But should we hold everybody hostage, seniors, veterans, and require cuts to all this other stuff that you couldn't get through a regular political process? That's bullshit, and I don't agree with it, because you're screwing around with everybody's it would affect the globe. It would affect the entire globe if the United States defaulted on its debts. And they know that. So this is like a hostage situation. They're holding everybody hostage, for this. And, usually you don't negotiate with people that are holding people hostage. But anyway, it just pisses me off. And there's not much I can do about it. So, as far as that goes, influence and everything else, like I said, everybody has their own beliefs and their own opinions and everything, and that's fine, and different knives that they like, stuff like that. I don't mind. I can't progress into just buying high-end knives. Now, if I'm collecting, like if I'm going to collect knives, I get as much enjoyment out of getting some of these inexpensive knives as I do with a high-end knife, just as much. So if I need that fix, if I need a new knife, or I need a knife to add to a collection or whatever, I'll go look for something expensive that'll fill that need, and it'll be fine for me. I don't feel like I've been ripped off or anything, because I'm not expecting much out of a novelty knife. To me, it's not about the materials, it's not about the fit and finish. It's just that it's in a Barlow shape. It actually is a knife that could hold an edge, not forever. They're actually pretty decent, inexpensive knives, and that's how a lot of people got into knives. Was they didn't start buying a high-end knife or whatever. They bought what they could afford, which was an inexpensive knife. And so that, if you talk about tradition, you look at most of the knives, peasant knives and stuff like that. It was just something that they could slap together that didn't cost a lot of money. And then it's just like cars, you know, you can get, I just need a car that'll get me from point A to point B. Volkswagen, you know, back in the day, a Volkswagen Bug was made in, you know, it's a German design. We just, you know, we fought against Germany in World War II. If you talk about politics and all that was left aside because it was inexpensive. It got the job done. It was affordable. You know, all these things that go on with that. And then later on, you realize, hey, I'd like to have air conditioning, especially in Texas. It'd be nice to have, they kept evolving their models and eventually got into air conditioning and stuff like that. But they were just simple designs, just like Jeeps, you know. Originally, they were just simple designs, point A to point B. When I bought my 2003 Jeep, I was amazed. It drove like a car. It had all these amenities, like stereo and air conditioning, and it surprised me. Because a lot of people that thought they wanted an economical vehicle going from point A to point B found out that having a few little extra amenities and everything turns out to be to make your ride a little bit better. It's not as bouncy, it's more comfortable, you know, all this other stuff. And the same can be applied to knives, you know. If you start off with a very basic budget knife, you know, expect it. Be surprised if it's even sharp. Be surprised if it makes it through 3 box cuttings or whatever without getting dull. And if you have low expectations like that, then you won't be disappointed. But if you go into buying a $5 knife and expecting it to perform like, let's say, a Rough Rider Reserve, even a higher end Chinese knife around $50 or so, there's something wrong with your expectations. You know, you're always going to be disappointed in life if you're going through it like that, expecting cheap things to work the same as expensive things. I mean, a lot of times there's a markup, you know, on the name brand or whatever. You know, they could say, hey, we're a well-established name or whatever. Well, it depends on where you're being made, and it depends on a lot of things. You know, there was a time when Queen went through, it was still being made in America, but I think some of the ones in there were starting to get a reputation of having lower quality and not being as well made. I don't know all the complete history of Queen, and that's another thing. When I come into this on knives, I'm not an expert on stuff. You know, a lot of these people that do histories of knives and stuff, they put in the time to do the research. You know, because I doubt if they grew up knowing all this stuff. You know, they had to have gotten it from somewhere. And nowadays, most people could just do a Google search or whatever like that and pull up a little history with it. It's good when you do that sometimes, and other times it's not necessarily necessary. You know, like Novelty Knife Company. That would be kind of an interesting story to look at, because at one time they were made in America. But like everything else, it got cheaper to make stuff in China. So, yeah, to me, the way I look at it is, if people don't like what I'm putting up, they'll give thumbs down, or they won't view it as much. All right, you know, I'm not going to let that completely influence me. Like sometimes I get on a roll, you know. I start liking flashlights, and I do like knives. I start buying a bunch of different ones of them. And I can understand that a lot of people are like, oh, man, I wish he'd get back into doing knives and stuff, because he's just going on and on about I don't need a flashlight. You know, flashlights are okay, but I got flashlights already. You know, and it's not for them. I understand that, you know, if they understand that I'm going to get back to knives. Knives is like a basic thing with me. I've got knives all around. I'm going to use a knife to open a package at least, you know, a lot of times. So, I figure that most of the people that have been with me for a while understand that, and the new viewers are gonna understand it. And as far as like subscribers go, if you look at any channel and you look at YouTube analytics and everything, it's always going to be a very low percentage of people that actually watch your videos are subscribers. So if you base everything upon subscribers, you're just basing everything upon a small sample of the people that view videos. That's another area where you can go down a huge rabbit hole, is YouTube analytics. I mean, it can give you so much information and stuff where you can look at it like, well, the majority of people that watch your videos, not necessarily subscribers. You can break it down to all kinds of stuff. I haven't gone that deep down that rabbit hole and stuff. But the best time for you to put a video up would be this time. You know? Well, okay. You know, if that's what I'm after, is views and the time when people will view it, I'm not into that. You know, I mean, I'm going to put a video up whenever I think it's ready and whenever I do one. And like recently I haven't been putting up as much is because of physical situations a lot of times. Like the most recent one being a sinus infection. Have you ever had a sinus? Actually, one side of my face is puffed up from a sinus being infected. I've got some real antibiotics, but I'm not taking them right now. I'm taking herbs and stuff like that to fight it off. But, yeah, sometimes you just can't make videos. I mean, if you're not feeling good and stuff. A lot of my viewers know some of them are in a lot of pain quite often. It's hard to do anything. And I'm not trying to do this for sympathy. I'm just trying to explain, you know, the reason why sometimes you're not going to see as many videos from me is because sometimes I'm going through stuff, physical or mental or whatever. But I don't like making videos when I'm in a bad mood or I'm not feeling good and stuff like that. So, anyways, yeah, just a little bit of a ramble there, just to let you know that, yeah, I'm gonna be doing. We'll still do this giveaway that's coming up for May. It's just that you may or may not get it in June, depending on whether or not I get paid by the government who owes me money, you know, and should never default on owing people money. But, yeah, anyways, there you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to get completely off on a rant, but I mean, that's as far as I go on politics. As far as country of origin, like I said, I've already put up videos about what I think about Chinese knives or any knife made from anywhere. It's just based upon it has nothing to do with the past politics of that country or past or present politics. And yeah, it may be messed up logic sometimes, but it's my logic. I mean, I'm going to live with it. I'm not going to change. Just like somebody gives a thumbs down on a video and thinks it's going to instantly, like, oh, they don't like comedy, I'm never going to make comedy again. You know, I got too many thumbs down. Or, oh, they didn't like this camping gear stuff, you know, I got a thumbs down on it. Or, oh, they don't like flashlights. All right, fine. You know, express your opinion. I don't care. You know, it really, like I said, it's not bothering me. I'm just letting you know that you keep doing what you're doing. As far as like thumbs down or thumbs up and everything. I appreciate the thumbs up. I mean, and I appreciate the comments and everything. And I try to get with them, but man, I'm having a hard time keeping up, responding to all the comments that come in. I mean, I appreciate it. Really, you know. I like to interact with the people out there because I've met a lot of different people just through this video, sharing our interest of likes and knives. A lot of people that like knives also like flashlights. Some people go camping, you know, so it's like shared interest. And my motivation is always, I'm not trying to make money off this. You know, I could sit there and get affiliate links with stuff that I talk about on Amazon and make some money off that, but I don't know. I'm not really trying to, I'm not knocking anybody that does that or anything like that, because it is a way of, you know, supporting the channel passively. I mean, you just click on a link and boom, they get some kind of percentage out of it. I mean, that's kind of a good way of, you don't have to donate any money. You're going to spend your money anyway. You might as well. It's just like any of these channels that have an affiliate link with knife companies and everything. Just, my problem is remembering to use them, because you've got Olight affiliates and you've got knife company affiliates and everything like that. And so just find your channel that does those, and because I think the more knife channels we've got out there, the better. I don't look at it as competition. I look at it as variety. It's all how you approach things. People, like I said, if people don't like your content, they won't watch it. There's your biggest vote right there. You don't get the views. It's not so much, somebody at least watched your video, or the title at least. Your favorite haters or whatever, to give you a thumbs down. And to me, like I said, I'm not complaining about thumbs down. I actually wish they would show the number of thumbs down again instead of just hiding it. Only the number of likes. Like, we're adults now. We can take that. Criticism, I don't, even if it's unjustified. Okay. All that tells me is, all right, you got a problem with comedy, or you didn't think the jokes were funny. You didn't leave a comment explaining why, so how am I to guess what the hell's going on in somebody's head? But, yeah, to me, if you put up a YouTube channel about anything, on any subject, you've got to be prepared for the trolls and the haters. There's going to be people that, they don't like the way you talk. If you put your physical appearance up there, they don't like the way you look. There's all kinds of people that are just waiting to find a video where they can express how much they dislike what you're doing. Well, I think they have issues, and you shouldn't worry about the mental health of the entire population of the world, and just keep doing whatever you like doing. If you like it and you keep doing it, I think you're going to be successful in the end. But if you're doing it just to appease the algorithm, or to appease your haters and whatever, you're never going to be happy. Yeah. I mean, it seems kind of like common sense, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of common sense in the world. But anyways, I've rambled on too long. It's going to take forever to upload this. So thank you for listening to my rambling and understanding what's going on. And those of you that don't understand, well, I'm sorry. I can't explain myself any better. But yeah, I was just inspired by Patty's. Just go look at his latest video, and he just explains how he's gone to higher end knives, and he has very few Chinese knives nowadays. Well, that's him. That's fine with me. I don't. But apparently, there's some people that want him to go back to budget knives. Well, doing things to just appease a channel is a losing proposition, I think, because you're always going to find that you didn't buy the proper brand that somebody wanted you to buy, or you did buy it. You're never going to win if you try to appease everyone, is all I'm trying to say. So the people that like what I do, thank you. That's all I wanted to say about this. Is the haters, I'm not really worried about, and the thumbs down and everything. Like I said, it actually helps the channel, so I can't get upset with that. So, yeah, and it doesn't bother me. All I'm putting this out here for is just to explain why sometimes I don't put up videos. It's not because I was attacked by haters and trolls and just gave up. The dinosaurs wouldn't let me, man. I mean, they wouldn't let me just give up. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.